Alright, guys, what is up? Welcome back to the Playbook show on Saturday, January 17th. So, I'm just going to give it a little analysis on the Niners Seahawks. So, what we got in the show today is what to expect from both teams, some injury updates on the key injuries for both teams, because there's some pretty severe ones. Win percentages and bets for FanDuel, I believe, is the one we're going with today. I could be wrong. And then the playoff bracket for the NFL, and I'll do a little like if they do this, if this team wins, they do this, how each team can win, and then keys to the game for both teams. And on the bets, we are using DraftKings today, which is our main one. Alright, so we'll jump right into what to expect from the Niners. So, the Niners need Brock Purdy to stay consistent, to not make one big play and then lay off for the rest of the drive, or make a big play and then throw an interception the next play like he has done this year. So if Brock Purdy can stay consistent, I think that this is a pretty easy win for San Francisco. I mean, nothing's easy in the National Football League, but if he's inconsistent, then I think Seattle takes this one easily. And the linebackers need to fill Warner's role now. D. Winters is questionable, so we don't know. That could be big or bad, good or bad. It's looking like we're going to need Kendricks to be the guy again, stepping up for Winters and Warner. And then the 49ers need to get a good run game with CMC and Brian Robinson Jr. You know, when they played him in Week 18, McCaffrey couldn't go anywhere. I think it's got held to 20 yards or something. That might be a little low, but I know he was held like he could not run for his life. And then, filling Kittle's role and Jake Tonjes being the tight end. You know, you miss Kittle, emotionally and literally on the field. I know Kittle's Brock Purdy's, main target besides maybe Pearsall, who is questionable, but I don't see on the injury report, so he might be good to go for them in this game, but don't quote me on that. And then, Jake Tonjes needs to step up for Kittle, both in the run game, blocking, getting out of tackles and everything, and then also just through the air, catching. We saw it in Week 1 against Seattle. He caught that one in the back of the end zone to take the lead and to ultimately win that game. And then I think Pinheiro needs to make every field goal within 55 yards. If he misses a 65-yarder at halftime, that's not a big deal. That's a tough field goal. But when you're within 55 yards, he's been amazing for us this year. So we're hoping that he could step up, especially in the playoffs when everything's on the line. We need him to, make every field goal. He's been super consistent this year. Glad Moody's not our guy. So I think that one's probably the easiest to do out of all of this. Within 55 yards, as I said. I don't care if he misses a 60-yarder. What to expect from the Seahawks, though, is you got to make sure Sam Darnold can still throw the ball. I spelled throw wrong. But, just make sure he can still play well. Because with that oblique injury that he suffered this week during practice, that really is not good for the Seahawks. So I'm thinking Niners, this offensive line has to be really good to protect Sam Darnold, because they literally have to protect Sam Darnold from further injury. Helmet to oblique contact can happen if you get sacked. So Sam Darnold could get hit. He's out for the game. if that happens, possibility. And then Kenneth Walker III in the run game. We'll see how he can do it. He was great against the Niners in Week 18. Absolutely ran for probably 100 yards, I think. Don't know the exact number, but he was really good in that game. So the Seahawks need him to step up to be the guy that they go to like they do normally when Sam Darnold wants to hand it off. Him and Charbonnet, they have to be good. And then offensive line without their starting guard. Missing Josh Jones. It's like he's not like a notable player. Like he's not like missing Trent Williams if you're the Niners, but he's definitely a big piece in that run game for Seattle that they're going to miss him in there because they're going to have to start the backup guard. And he's out for this one. He will return for the NFC Championship if they beat the Niners tonight. So will Warner and Brown, but we'll get into that later. So, and then JSN on the receiving end, he can go deep every single play, and he can make every single play, it feels like. He has to be consistent, like make every play. I think the main reason that the Niners won last week against the Eagles was because of A.J. Brown just could not catch a ball. He caught 3 for 7, and they were all great throws by Jalen Hurts, but he just couldn't bring it in. And then the Seattle defense needs to stop Brock Purdy, because if Brock Purdy gets going, he gets going, and he'll lead you down the field, score a touchdown, 3 minutes. I mean, he's just such a good quarterback for the Niners that he can really play when he gets in a groove. The injuries. So, injury report for both teams. So, the notable ones, Fred Warner, of course. He was a game-time decision. Shanahan decided not to play him. Jair Brown is out. D. Winters is questionable, but I believe Shanahan did not give him the go. And then Jacob Cowling is on IR. Then Sam Darnold is questionable. Of course, Josh Jones we talked about. Arroyo, the tight end. Surratt, the linebacker. And then Horton, the receiver. And Horton will not be back unless Seattle makes it to the Super Bowl, it appears. So this will affect the game because, Sam Darnold's still feeling sore in that oblique. Like that, there's a lot of motion in that oblique, in that core when you're a quarterback throwing the ball. So, if he gets fatigued easy, if he gets hit, it could be more wear and tear, ultimately causing him to an injury. I mean, if they have to start Drew Lock or if they have to play Drew Lock at all, really, it's not going to be good for Seattle. And then for the Niners, missing Warner, they've still won without Fred Warner all this time. Shanahan did say that they will start him in the NFC Championship if they can beat Seattle today. D. Winters is questionable. I believe he was a game-time decision, and Shanahan deferred to say to keep him on the sideline, but I'm not 100% on that. And then Jair Brown is out, but he will return next week as well if they win. So, yeah, this could really hurt or help both teams. When I say help, I mean like Seahawks are very happy that Warner's not in. Niners happy that Darnold is going to be a little fatigued out there. All right, win percentages, betting info, currently on ESPN Analytics. Niners 40.5% chance to win this. Seattle 59.5%. So, not great. Then our game odds by DraftKings. The over-under would be 44.5 points. So, yep, the spread is favoring Seattle by 7. Niners are touchdown dogs. So, just really not good. Total 44.5 as well. So, here's one more look at the playoff bracket. I guess this is your first look at the playoff bracket, but Los Angeles beat Carolina. They move on, face the Bears. Now, as of the time I'm recording this, the Bills and the Broncos are playing currently. And the Broncos, they're tied 10-10. Broncos have the ball. And then this game over here, Houston and Texans. A little late on that one, but this game will be tomorrow at 6:30 Eastern. And then also, that's 3 p.m. Eastern. And then the Bears and Rams game is at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. So, that's the show for today. Tell me who you got in the comments. I did a post as well, so tell me who you got. I'm sorry, that is not the end of the show. How the Niners can win, or the keys for the game for the Niners. Pretty much basically what I said before. Run game with CMC and Brian Robinson Jr. They gotta bang through the defense, man, because Purdy cannot always be perfect. Ton just needs to step up. You know, he has to be near perfect. Purdy doesn't throw any picks. That was a problem. Threw 2 picks last game. Almost hurt him. And then the O-line holds strong. They do have Trent Williams, which is huge for that O-line. And the run game, they did not have him against Seattle last time. And then how the Seahawks can win. Sam Darnold has to be unfazed with that injury, not be fatigued or anything. JSN has to break away from Lenore or Renato Green, no matter, depending on who he's getting guarded by. Probably Lenore. If I was Shanahan, I would put Lenore on JSN when playing man coverage. Defense has to force third down or turnover on the Niners because, Shanahan is he's very conservative. He will, if it's 4th and 1, unless they're in a big situation, he's going to punt it. So, and then Darnold can't get sacked because, a lot of contact there. Landing on that oblique could cause it to further get injured, bruised, or torn. So, that is officially the show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to comment who you got in this game. And, also subscribe to Playbook if you're not already. All right, that is the show.